Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a world where AI could help doctors do their jobs faster, maybe with even greater accuracy, especially in really high-pressure fields like radiology. Well, that's not some far-off dream, is what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into this novel method called LMRRG. Basically, it uses large models and reinforcement learning to generate radiology reports right from X-rays. Our mission here is pretty simple. Cut through the jargon, give you a clear picture of this cutting-edge approach and why it's actually a pretty big step forward for medical AI.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. But maybe we should start with why this is so hard. I mean, what makes generating a radiology report so much tougher for an AI than just, say, describing a cat in a photo?
Right, good question. And that's where it gets really interesting because unlike just spotting objects, cat, tree, radiology reports need incredible precision. They have to pinpoint specific medical details, like confirming there isn't a collapsed lung, what doctors call no pneumothorax. That absence is clinically vital. And critically, the AI needs to sort of infer meaning from really subtle visual cues, things that might suggest a disease, or just as important, confirm everything's completely normal. And think about the pressure radiologists are under, looking at hundreds of images a day. This isn't just about making things faster. It's also about, well, potentially reducing burnout.
That's a huge ask for an AI system. So how does LMRRG even start to mimic that kind of clinical thinking? What are the breakthroughs here?
Okay, so LMRRG tackles this with a kind of three-part approach. Each piece builds on the last one. First, they have something they call a smart feature extractor. Now, this is, I think, a really key innovation. With this traditional AI, well, it often struggled to accurately pinpoint the right area to look at first, which could mess up the whole analysis.
Right, garbage in, garbage out, basically.
Exactly. So the smart feature extractor uses large language models, think something like GPT-4, to describe specific regions on the X-ray first, like left lung or cardiac silhouette. Then it uses those precise descriptions to pull out the most relevant visual details from those specific areas. It's like giving the AI a radiologist's focused first look.
And that accurate starting point is absolutely critical. It helps avoid those detection errors that plagued older systems, makes the whole process much more reliable from the get-go.
Precisely. Okay, so that's part one. Part two is the multimodal report generator. This bit takes those really detailed visual features identified in step one and combines them with text instructions, something simple like generate a radiology report for this chest X-ray. It then uses a large multimodal model, they mentioned Bill EP2, as an example, to actually build the report word by word, auto-regressively.
Like how humans write, composing it piece by piece.
Yes, exactly. So it flows logically. And then comes the third and maybe the most crucial refinement step. Clinical quality reinforcement learning, CQRL for short. And this uses a really special metric called RAD-CLQ as its reward function.
RAD-CLQ. Now, this is the game changer, I think. It's not just any metric. It's specifically designed to evaluate how clinically relevant the generated report is. It essentially mimics how a human radiologist would judge the report's quality and accuracy.
The feedback loop based on clinical value.
Exactly. It helps the AI learn to avoid mistakes that actually matter medically. It guides it towards reports that aren't just grammatically sound, but, diagnostically useful.
So tying it all together, what does this mean for, healthcare, for patients, for doctors? Well, the researchers found LMRRG significantly outperforms the older methods, especially when tested on big real-world data sets like MIFC6R. And they did these ablation studies where they basically took parts of the system away one by one to see what happened.
Testing each component's contribution.
Right. And they confirmed that all the pieces are important, from those LLM descriptions at the start right through to using RAD-CLQ for refinement. Every part plays a vital role.
And the potential impact is huge. It's not just about getting reports out faster. It's about getting reports that are potentially more accurate, more clinically useful, which ultimately could mean better patient care and maybe, just maybe, easing some of that immense pressure on radiologists. It really shows the power of designing AI with human-centric feedback right at the core.
Absolutely. This deep dive really shows how specialized AI, like LMRRG, is evolving. It's moving beyond just general tasks into these really complex, nuanced applications. It promises a future where hopefully technology works much more closely with human expertise.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How could integrating this kind of human-centric, expert-aligned feedback like the RAD-CLQ metric be applied elsewhere? Think about other complex AI systems. Could this help ensure their outputs are truly aligned with expert standards in fields like, say, law or finance or even scientific discovery? Lots to think about there.